And lawyers for NDC National Chairman Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo are urging an Accra High Court to strike out an audio recording presented as evidence of crime. Mr. Ofosu-Ampofo and the party's Deputy Communication Officer, Anthony Kweku-Boahin, are facing 3 charges over an alleged leak audio detailing strategies the NDC intends to use for the 2020 election. One being the kidnapping of family members of political opponents and security operatives. Court correspondent Joseph Akable was in court following proceedings and joins me live via Skype. Good morning, Joseph. What happened in court today?
And so anymore, you recall that in July this year, lawyers for Mr. Ampofo came to the court. They made an application. It had to do with the fact that they wanted the charges of assault that had been leveled against him to be set aside by the court, saying that the documents filed does not indicate any individual who has been assaulted, and so they wanted the court to throw that out. But the court disagreed and threw out that particular application. They again informed the court that they intended to file an appeal at the Court of Appeal, and so they asked that the court puts on hold its proceedings pending that application that they intended to file at the Court of Appeal being heard and determined. But the court also disagreed with them as well. Then again, there was another application challenging how that audio recording that forms the basis of this entire case against him, how that audio recording was so procured. And so today, the lawyers informed the court that they have got a date from the Court of Appeal. The application at the Court of Appeal is to be heard on the 23rd of October. And so they asked that the court adjourns the case pending determination of that matter at the Court of Appeal. Then beyond that, again, they reminded the court that their application challenging how that audio recording was procured is also pending here at the High Court. And so they're asking that the court, once they return from the Court of Appeal, the court determines that application as well. The state prosecutors, led by Director of Public Prosecution Yvonne Atakro-Bobisa, did not oppose that particular application as the court fixed the next date to be the 4th of November. And so what it means is that the trial of Mr. Ampofo for now is on hold. The next time he will be in court will be at the Court of Appeal on October 23, where the Court of Appeal will be ruling on whether the decision by Justice here at the High Court in saying that you respond to the charges of assault is in the right direction, after which they will come back here at the High Court to hear the application challenging the audio recording anymore.
Have you been able to pick up any indication of how that case is going to go on the 23rd of October at the Court of Appeal?
And so we understand that the state will be opposing that particular application that will be coming in. And so we expect that his lawyers will file and make their case, arguing and asking the Court of Appeal on what basis they believe that they should overturn the decision of the High Court. The state, we understand, like I pointed out, will be putting up a defense against that. And once the court comes to some form of determination, it will influence what happens here at the High Court. Because mind you, if they rule in favor of Mr. Ampofo, it could affect the proceedings that are ongoing. On the other hand, if they rule in favor of the state, it will mean that the case will have to come back here at the High Court for proceedings to continue.
I was just going to ask you, depending on what happens on the 23rd of October, how would that affect what happens in November? But I think you've just answered that, unless, of course, there's something else that we may have missed.
Mr. Ampofo himself was present here in court together with his legal team. One thing that we had observed the first time he was brought here at the High Court was that there were a number of supporters of the opposition NDC who had come in to solidarize with him. In fact, when we covered this case the first time, we did indicate that that was not something that was obviously sustainable and will be reducing with time. I can report that when we came over to the law court complex today, not many of them came in. In fact, we didn't see the numbers that we saw on the first day of the case when they were singing and dancing at the premises here at the High Court. Same with some members of Parliament who had accompanied him here, including the party General Secretary, among others, who were party officials who came in to throw their weight behind him. They also didn't show. In fact, the former president, you recall, John Dramani Mahama, was one of the key individuals who accompanied Mr. Ampofo to the court the first day that he showed up. We did point out that that was not sustainable, but then again, today, all those people did not show up with him in court. So it appears that Mr. Ampofo and Kweku-Boahin, who are in the docket, are the ones who will be attending court on their own, together with their lawyers and some few individuals who care to accompany them here.
Right. Well, thank you very much for joining us and bringing us